From Variety, celebrating more than 120 years covering the business of entertainment, this is the Award Circuit Podcast. Emmy-nominated The Pitt star, executive producer, and director Noah Wyle mostly stays off social media, but he knows the reaction toward his character was pretty intense this season.
There was, my son is the one who calls me and goes, "Dad, they're really mad at you out there." Yeah, he's my firewall, Dad. You might not want to go to the market today unless you start treating Dr. Mohan better, that kind of thing.
I'm Michael Schneider, and on this episode of the Variety Award Circuit Podcast, we talk to The Pitt's Noah Wyle, Emmy-nominated for lead actor in a drama series, for drama director, and as one of the producers on the show's outstanding drama series Nod. But first, on the Roundtable, the Television Academy sure ruffled a few feathers by announcing its plan to move 5 categories off the Emmy Telecast. We'll get into it. It's all next on this edition of the Variety Award Circuit Podcast. Stay close.
Michael Schneider, executive TV editor at Variety.
Clayton Davis joins us now. He's the chief awards editor of Variety.
Variety's director of features, Emily Longaretta.
Variety's senior artisans editor, Jazz Tanke.
From Hollywood, it's Variety's Award Circuit Podcast.
And hello, everybody. It is the Roundtable. We got some hot topics to get to. We got a lot going on in the biz, so let's kick things off. I am Michael Schneider. To my right is the one and only Clayton Davis.
Hi.
We got Emily Longaretta, who is so busy that she's working while recording this podcast. It is.
So sorry.
That's how busy she is.
Thank goodness. Crazy time.
We got Jazz Tanke over here.
Those
as well.
E's ain't gonna write themselves,
That's
man.
right.
I know.
Deadlines.
There is
Deadlines.
no time to waste.
So before we get started today, we have a fun fact of the day and
Fun
fact of the day.
That was a trivia question, but it's a fun fact.
Okay.
And then we'll answer it.
I'll
at
be the judge of
end.
that.
Okay. I will take either the name of the person or the name of the show. But who is the only writer or the series to win the Writing Comedy Award at the Emmys for 2 consecutive years? It was a solo writer for a show. And only one has won consecutive back-to-back.
Do we have a time frame?
Do you want a hint? Is that
Is
what
it
you're
like
asking for?
last 10 years?
No. It's
been a while.
It's been a while.
Jerry
So you have to
Seinfeld.
think about like solo writers for TV shows that won, and then this is the only time that a solo writer won 2 years in a row.
I'm
it's
going
fun.
Jerry
I
Seinfeld.
was
That's a
thinking.
good guess.
I was thinking Larry David actually. So kind of in that.
Neither of those?
You'll get the answer at the end.
All right. There. Oh, stick
Okay.
around.
Oh my God! Okay.
You have to go around to get the answer.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, gang, Friday there was a little bit of a. Was it Thursday? It was Thursday night when the Board of Governors announced or voted on this, and then
Had a
Friday the little bombshell from the TV Academy, where they're moving 5 categories over to the what used to be called the Creative Arts Emmys. Now they're just Emmys, Part 1 and Part 2, before Part 3.
Can we talk about the positives first?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I feel like I'm probably going to be the one to defend this
Sure.
the most, and we'll get to that.
But here's a positive. I think it's good to just call all of it Emmys.
I do too.
I think
Yeah.
that's streamline of creative arts versus prime. Look, Emmys are Emmys. So there are 3 nights of
Right.
it.
Well,
That's
especially
fine.
because we kind of stopped calling it primetime Emmys now that what is primetime?
Right.
Yeah.
So
True.
So, and I
It's
guess
still daytime though, which is
well, and
That's
technically
true.
there still is a
children.
time frame for traditional linear shows that still have to air after a certain time. I believe it's 5 or 6 o'clock p.m. And then anything before that still kind of technically goes to daytime Emmys. But in the streaming era, what does that mean? Nothing.
I guess midnight technically is after and before.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I think that is a win. I think we should all call it Emmys, and it also just keeps it streamlined. Great.
Yeah.
I'm done with my good stuff that came from this. That actually ends that. Well, listen. It is a lose-lose situation. We are in an era where broadcasters that are this isn't just Emmys problem. It's Oscars. It's everyone.
Yeah.
They have to come within a certain time frame. I get it. I understand. So you have to move some stuff off, and you need to make time for some items. Understood. However, it seemed to me a little bit like a hodgepodge of just random picks. Like it was for limiteds and writing variety. I penned in my column. I think that they should have just like streamlined, like just be like, all the directors go off this year, and then we'll rotate them writers next year.
Yeah, but that's a non-starter.
Or you do all the limiteds. I just don't like that it's like kind of like just hodgepodge of random stuff.
Well, it just makes it feel like, okay, we don't think these are as important.
I mean, well, I think also it really heavily affected HBO and Netflix only, and then one FX, and then one Peacock to go to Manny.
Which was Peacock's first ever major nomination. So the irony is NBC, of course, is airing the broadcast this year. So all the years
so funny.
Oh my God.
But NBC had to sign off on this and still signed off on this, even though it meant that their one big shining nomination for Peacock would no longer be televised.
Yeah,
they're nominated for series.
And I think because there's 9 people that now it was bad enough that Creative Arts are Labor Day weekend.
I mean, that alone is ridiculous.
And that's also the weekend of Venice and Telluride. And then the next week is Primetime, and that's opening at Toronto Film Festival. So now there's 9 people that have to go both weekends. David Harbour, Jason Bateman, because they're EPs on the show. Dakota Fanning is also one of those people that has to go twice because she's an EP on Margot's Got Money Troubles. That's probably what NBC didn't care about. They're like, whatever. Like, you want to go to that.
But it's like, I also think people think, oh, they're stars, they can just go both weekends. But it's the amount of money that they have to spend on glam. Also, the first show doesn't even have a red carpet, so they're not getting photographed. It's not televised.
Well, that's one thing they definitely need to fix that.
Yeah.
They need to bring back the red carpet, which they used to have at Creative Arts until the pandemic. Yeah.
Okay.
And basically to save money after during the pandemic, obviously we didn't have these events, and then when they were back full time, they just didn't have the carpet. I think if they are going to put more talent into the first 2 Emmys, they need a carpet.
I wonder if they will. Like, that's going to be the next announcement. It's like there is going to be a red carpet.
Maybe. And then it feels a little mean, like that. Like, oh, you did it when you added like.
When you added
stars.
actors, they're the talent you care about.
And also, like, I was thinking a lot of jazz during this, right? Like, how hard is it to get stories written that are headlined by artisans and guest actors that and then they threw them all on the guest actor night, on night 2. All those categories are on the same night. So none of the guest actors are going to lead the headlines when they would have otherwise. So I thought a little bit, not some people might be like, oh, boo-hoo, but like.
No, it is the way they don't get the attention otherwise.
Yeah, it's hard. But again, it was a lose-lose situation because it also now depends on what they bring to this new format on what are you doing with this extra 30 minutes? Mariska, God bless her heart, I was very surprised that she was chosen as host because I can't think of a comedy that she was in except Mr.
Well, it doesn't have to be a comedian to host the show.
Well,
there have been non-comedians and non-comedy people in the past.
When's the last time we had a non-comedian?
I say we usually it has usually been comedians, and even when it hasn't, it's been people who are like very used to like hosting in that environment. Like, she's also not used to that environment.
Yeah. No, that's a good point because I feel like the last time was when all the reality hosts hosted the Emmys, and of course that did not go well.
Yeah.
But that was also a cluster F because it was too many people.
And that's not a criticism that she shouldn't host. But
sure.
Now that we have this 30 minutes and then there was like, we might want to do a musical performance. And I was like, that's just never been the Emmys.
My guess would be, because it is NBC 100 and they are pulling out every stop they can, is it's going to be
a big
we keep seeing these reunions every year, and this is the year NBC is going to pull out their stop and do, whether it's Friends, whether it's the few biggest shows they've ever had, and have the whole cast come out and do big
that makes sense.
The Cosby Show. Oh no, probably.
Wow.
Probably not.
You know what's funny? I didn't even think about that. It's like the 75th Oscars. They brought out every single acting winner.
Totally.
I don't think they're going to do that, but they'll do something that's celebratory. That makes sense. But also, what I flagged in the column, you potentially lose that 30 minutes. God forbid, 5 winners win for variety series.
Exactly, and they all have to give speeches. That takes up the whole thing.
And if you don't, and you say no, you can't give speeches, you look
That's
like
a whole
jerks
other
anyway.
problem.
Yeah,
because it'll be the last time Colbert will be able to give a speech for this show. I assume. I don't know.
Do it.
It's going to be interesting.
I think that's just when the show ends up going 30 minutes over at that point, because they will not have planned for 5 winners, and that'll just have to be crammed into what they already have planned.
Which is, I think, if you would have moved variety just off, I think that would have gave them all the time that they probably were looking for.
Right. If they would have moved that off, I mean, they don't want to move that off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they would have missed that.
They don't want to miss that because they know whoever wins is going to make headlines with their
Yeah.
speech. But also that it would be like could be 5 speeches.
Yeah.
So you could easily move that to creative arts.
In your piece, Mike, the FXX deal, because we haven't said that in like a very long time.
Yeah.
That isn't secure yet. Like that's not in place for creative arts.
Yeah, not 100%, but it sounds like it's pretty close to it.
But the fact that we didn't even know that's not inked in also was like, so there's a shot that we just don't see this and it just goes up online. And I think that in itself would suck.
Well, I don't know how
many people watch it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think many people watch it on FXX.
Awards
if anything,
enthusiasts do.
Well, if anything, maybe that's what should go on YouTube or should go on social to spread it out for more people to have an opportunity to see it. But, I mean, listen, my sense is they got to do something. They're damned if they do, damned if they don't. And to keep continuing with just doing the same show year after year, watching the ratings go down, watching only awards enthusiasts watch these shows at this point. Mm-hmm. They know they have to mix things up. Is it going to work? Who knows? But if you don't do anything, if you don't do anything, then you know nothing's going to change. So this is an experiment, 1-year experiment. They tried this. They've tried this in the past where they've tried to move categories off of the main show into creative arts, and every time they've tried it, the guilds have balked. They've threatened to pull their clips because they allow the TV Academy to run those clips free of charge. Which allows them to do that. But if they threaten to pull those clips, then the Academy sort of is shooting itself in the foot. But I
also feel like they barely have shown clips the last few years anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like I think everyone's also waiting to see if they're going to cave. And my reporting, I think your reporting, Mike, and we kind of get the sense that it looks like they're going to stand their ground.
I think they kind of have to at this point because you announce it. You can't keep announcing these things and then pulling back unless there's a huge reason. And yes, there's been some outcry, but it hasn't been an overwhelming outcry. The guilds haven't, like I said, come back and threatened to pull their clips or whatever. So there hasn't been, there hasn't been talk of boycotts. I think ultimately everyone knows that they're just moving 5 categories. This isn't the end of the world. It's frustrating for people, especially who are in those 5 categories or networks that are involved with those 5 categories. But in the larger scheme of things in the world right now, in sort of issues that we're facing, this isn't a death knell of any kind. So let the Academy do this year. Let's see how it goes. Let's see what the show looks like, and we'll regroup after.
And then vehemently criticize it right after. I should say this too, and you actually made a good point, Mike, because you said it to me when I said it. I was like, this could also turn the Emmys into an anticlimactic event, because if Charles Melton and Yu Jun-yoon win on creative arts nights, we're going to be like, okay, so beef wins everything. But as we have learned in other years, sometimes it don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
And Hacks pulls out the bear, gets past the bear, even though the bear won 5 out of 6 acting categories.
Or as we remember, that the Mandalorian just dominated in creative arts, and we're like, oh wow,
and
it didn't win anything in prime time.
Right.
So it doesn't really say anything other than it makes the race a little more interesting, because then you're going in and you have some preconceived notions that you may be surprised by.
And by then, your prediction should be in anyway, so you couldn't even change it anyway. It's just me.
Note to self.
Note to everyone. But yeah, that's it. That's Emmy's doing a good job. Keep it up. Keep it up, guys. No notes.
Can't wait for those musical performances.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised because it does take it's such a bureaucracy, the TV Academy, that to do anything, to try anything, it's nearly impossible. The fact that they were able to get together and at least try something like this is pretty astounding. Because again, they generally, look at the variety category and how difficult a time they have in sort of making any decision on that. It's why we've been stuck with the same show year after year. So let's try something different, guys. Let's see how it looks. Again, it's not going to be the end of the world. And I think the point of people having to go to multiple award shows back to back, I get it. But also remember, this is a long FYC season where everyone's been going to back-to-back events for the entire 6-month span.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So
hopefully none of them have films at festivals that they have to go to, because then
That's happened.
that's just
yep.
I mean,
well,
again,
who cares about film?
Oh, look at that! There you go.
Come on, you
everyone
know,
cares about film. You know who cares most
I'm
about
kidding.
film? Elon Musk. Elon Musk loves film.
Perfect segue.
Loves film. Actually, before we get into that, though,
Yeah.
the Emmy race is still cooking, very much so. And I'm actually, how can I say this?
Yeah.
Surprised by, I don't feel very firm on a lot of categories. I feel like it starts to like, we're like, it's going to just be boring. Like, I feel like Pitt is probably like, that's done.
Yeah.
But, like comedy is a real race and limited's a real race.
Yeah. Which I always love to
Yeah.
see. I mean, I think Hacks for a long time, we've been assuming that Hacks is just the easy and very well deserved for it being its last season, but I don't see a world where Widow's Bay gets shut out. So
They're gonna ping pong. It's gonna be like the Pitt versus Severance again.
I mean, and then I'm just gonna throw it back out there. Please let Harrison Ford win for Shrinking. I mean,
Oh my
come
God,
on.
come on.
I literally told this to Emily before we walked
about
down
this
here,
earlier.
and I said, I feel like we're gonna get baited into predicting him again.
No, I'm not getting
it's
baited.
not-
I'm forcing it.
I know. I think I'm going to do it because I'm like, I don't know who else, but I feel like we've done this twice. Like guys, they've told us maybe they just, or maybe they do. Maybe they just give it to him now because Michelle Pfeiffer's in. They want a What Lies Beneath reunion on the stage.
I mean,
Oh, that'd be
same.
perfect,
Do
right?
you love that movie?
Yeah, of course. I mean, come on.
Well, maybe we could be like the head of FIFA and just give Harrison Ford our own supporting
know.
actor in a comedy
Not know.
award. Is that
Just
can
I'm
that
so
be
sick
done?
of people ignoring Shrinking. I feel like
Yeah, I mean, it got misdirecting and writing too, right? This year,
Yeah.
and it's been that engine that's chugging along. I think it's going to start getting bigger.
Yeah.
But-
One day. One day.
Well, Shrinking was the strong number 2, and then the call came from inside the house.
I
Apple
know.
TV was like, yeah, I
Just
know we
kidding.
were promoting Shrinking, but have you seen Widow's Bay?
I'm telling you, man, that it was the most nominated freshman series. It flexed. Like I always look for flexes, and it flexed. Like
I would say we shouldn't count out Margot's Got Money Troubles, like Nick Offerman sneaking in there, because I think people were surprised he got 2 noms.
Yeah.
He was a
Clearly they love him, yeah.
He's a previous
great.
winner.
He's a previous winner. He's so good.
That's
He's
who
a
I've been-
nice guy. The Academy loves him.
That's who I've been thinking is going to
Yeah.
upset her. That's going to be Nick Offerman or Stephen Root are just going to like be like, actually, I'll take that, please. And
Another
then,
Apple show. I mean, just Apple just taking over.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apple edging out Apple.
Taking a bite from its own.
Literally.
There you go.
looking back and just looking at all the comedy records that have been broken now 3 consecutive years in a row that someone can only hold on to for the first year, do you think if Hacks or Widow's Bay wins that they break the record by the studio last year? Do you think it's a haul
Yeah,
or a
I do.
sweep?
I feel like it'll be a sweep.
So they won't ping pong. It'll just be like, we'll make a choice and stick with that.
Well, I don't know. I
It's a
guess
legit
it's just
question.
like wondering. Yeah, it's like how powerful is down the line voting. We talk about this every year. It's like it just depends.
Yeah. What's good is that at prime time, they don't really go up against each other in a lot of stuff. Like Matthew Rhys he has a clear pathway. Gene Smart has a clear pathway. They both have supporting actors that we're just saying right now probably we feel like neither of them win.
Right.
Supporting actress, I said, I think whoever wins supporting actress, that show is the one that wins.
Are you all surprised that Widow's Bay, at least right now, doesn't seem to be getting the same kind of is it a comedy blowback that The Bear got?
Yeah, I am surprised by that.
I was,
but it
too.
does feel like more of a comedy than The Bear does.
Does it?
I think
yes,
so.
1,000%.
Yeah,
it's way more of a comedy.
There are some like really funny moments in Widow's Bay, but it's still a horror show.
I mean, I could go the same realm. I could go the same realm with Shrinking, though. Like Shrinking is a drama more than a comedy.
I would argue, yes, I would say Shrinking's more of a drama than Widow's Bay is as a drama.
Yeah, I think
and Margot too. I think,
but I think the Bear at least the Bear at least in structure and Shrinking in structure, they feel like
half-hour format,
half-hour single camera comedies.
Yeah.
Just because it looks and feels like a comedy, where Widow's Bay does not look structure-wise at all like a comedy.
Yeah,
so
I mean, it's also just like it's a bigger show, and
Yeah.
comedy we usually just associate with smaller stuff.
Yeah. You see living rooms, and you see
Right.
people basically in small
Yeah.
places, whereas Widow's Bay is such a big...
You have Dale Dickey giving a projector presentation on a screen that's just perfect.
Hey, that episode is not eligible, Clayton.
Which is, but honestly, that's such a good point. But that is what told me that they love the show, and they just do. It was the same thing we did with The Bear, right? The Bear won so many things one season too early.
Right.
Eben, Liza, all won a season too early than they were supposed to. Dale Dickey got in. Not for when she was supposed to get in. So I think whatever episode she submits, I'm going to be like, damn, that kind of sucks. So you can't submit the one that's actually the one.
Exactly.
But maybe it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
They just love the show overall. Like, it doesn't
And they
matter
love
at
her.
all.
Yeah. That's the ongoing question of, does episodic selection matter?
Yeah. I've been trying to hold on to the yes of that. I think more and more I'm coming to,
I don't
maybe
think
not.
so.
No.
I think it's just whatever you like. Because I don't know. 'Cause, I mean, I think it matters maybe for directors and writers because they actually pay attention. Because my question to you guys, do you think Noah Wyle is really going to win director? Does that seem like? Can you think of an actor director that has won directing drama? Besides, like the only actor director I could think of that's won any directing category is Jason Bateman and Charles Dutton in Limited. I don't think we've ever had someone like Noah come in.
Yeah, because that's such a more recent phenomenon of having stars direct their own shows. No, it's an interesting question.
Yeah.
But if anyone could, it's probably Noah.
Yeah. But that's why I think that might be like Pluribus's bone. Like here's directing, here's actress, and writing. We'll see.
Slow Horses wins that category.
Slow Horses
I'm going
is
to call it right now.
Here's the thing. Slow Horses is going to win something, quote unquote egregious. Not egregious because it's bad. Just like it wins stuff it's not supposed to. I swear to God, I want to predict Jack Lowden.
So do I.
So bad.
I don't know why.
Or Gary Oldman. It's going to win something, and we're all going to be like, oh, there it goes.
Because remember the Will Smith year, like.
It was 2 years in a row, Jazz. It was Will Smith, and then last year it won directing. Not writing, directing. It beat Severance and The Pit. Keep it in mind.
Gary Oldman, man, winning an Emmy. I think I'll cry. But
not about horses.
Still not about horses.
So The Odyssey.
There are horses in The Odyssey.
There's a big horse in that
Guys,
one.
hold on.
Yeah.
Mike didn't see it, but you know who did? Emily Longeretta.
I did, guys.
Emily.
She saw a movie.
I saw a movie. I actually see a lot of movies, guys.
I know. Are you a Nolan fan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Where does this rank for you in the Nolan?
I mean, it's close to the
It's up
top.
there?
And here's my thing: it's like I'm not a mythology is just not a genre that I like. So I knew going in story wise, it wasn't gonna I know the story. I've read the book. But visually it was so beautiful, and the sound and music was so good. I was like, nothing tops this.
$1 million question: who is your favorite part of the movie? Because that is where I keep asking everyone. Like everyone has a different favorite.
John Leguizamo.
Easy.
Same. Easy for me. Honestly, I was like, but I'm going to say this on the record. I don't think anyone was bad.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a worst.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah, I think everyone was great. I think Samantha Morton. I think she was the best.
I wanted more.
And then Damon, I think, is next in line, and then Leguizamo.
Yeah.
It was so crazy because I'm watching and I'm thinking like, God, Matt Damon is so good, and I'm like, he's never been bad in his whole entire career, but for some reason I was like, oh my gosh, this man
the
is
scene
so
that
good.
did it for me. So I've seen it 3 times now because I'm checking off all the formats.
You're part of the $242 million.
Exactly. Jen, my wife, messaged me. She goes, "You spent 9 hours of your life watching The Odyssey." I was like, "Thanks for pointing that out."
Yeah.
But anyway, my favorite scene of his that really there's 2 moments. There's one with the dog.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody knows that. And then it's when he goes through the sirens.
Yeah. One of the best scenes.
I have a story that's going to publish
Goosebumps.
after we're done talking here. That Academy member that went to the Academy screening cried twice. The dog, and she said she wept during the sirens.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I got really emotional
Yeah.
too.
It's you know what's funny? I think that's why I really want to see it again because I was so in my head in the moment because I had said to myself, "Oh my God, they're not showing us the actual sirens. Like we're not going over there."
Yeah.
And then I was a lot of times that happens. I feel myself getting distracted. I'm like I'm missing something
Totally
right now. So, but yeah, it's really well
And
really well done.
Ludwig's score, I mean, this guy could go 4 for 4, and it's insane. Listening to the score within the movie, it's so incredible, but listening to it solo, and you hear the gongs, you hear like Samantha Morton actually is a vocalist on the soundtrack. It's just like, how does this guy go from Sinners to Star Wars and creating like a rave album and then doing something so incredible like
very cool
The
guy.
Odyssey?
He's the movie just like it really rocks in a lot of ways, and you know, talking about like Oscar stuff in the middle of Emmys, but it was like I saw it and I was like, all right, your move, Dune. Like,
literally.
Your move now. Like whatever happens from here on out, your move. Unless obviously other things could come in, but like it just felt like, okay, someone drew the line. We know what it is.
Yeah.
Someone try to go beat.
You're all sounding like Odyssey homers.
I'm going to need to search. That was a good one. I need to
good.
search for an early edition of the Odyssey. One of my collectibles is early editions of books that I always thrift. I know, I don't think I talk about it, but like I thrift them. So when I go, like 2 weeks ago, I was at the Rose Bowl Flea, one of my favorite places in the world, and I found a $10. It was $10 an edition of Little Women from like 1890, and I was like,
how are you not best friends with Jessica Davis? Why don't you guys go thrift together? So she always asks me to go with her, and
thrifting is my love language.
No all the time. So I'm going to connect you guys, and you guys go do this, or probably not going to cost me money. But can I say something about Matt Damon? And it's going to sound weird to say. It feels like his Jerry Maguire performance of like it's such a movie star performance.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think he's been the most underrated movie star I think we've had.
I would agree
because he
with
won
that,
his
maybe.
Oscar so early.
Yeah,
and
he was a child.
Yeah, he was like 25 years old, and since like he's just been like Martian, Invictus. He's just been in so many things, and I was just like, oh yeah, like he's great. Like he's a great actor. Yeah. A little bit of Paul Giamatti disease. I think we underestimate how good he is because he kind of makes it look easy.
Because we've been watching him for so long, and he does make it look easy. Yeah,
Tom Holland is incredible too.
I could have been in the Odyssey. I think I have the muscle mass to do it.
I think I agree.
Yeah.
I'm going to also give a shout out to
Cyclops?
a friend of mine, not Cyclops, a friend of mine who was in a few scenes. His name's Michael Vlamis, and I was so thrilled. He was murdered, but it was great. And I just want to give a shout out because there's so many great actors in it, and I love when like a newer actor or actors who are trying to break in also get their shot in movies like that. That's really incredible.
Jesse Garcia, also a part of that, and your boy Hamish Patel actually kicks ass in that movie.
Oh my gosh, he's so
Hamish
good.
Patel, I was like, where is my leading man? Hamish Patel project. That dude, man, I think if we really parse through some stuff and we watch a movie like 10 times, I think we may all come to the fact like actually
he could have been the best
Hamish
part of the movie.
is actually the best part, and I think we're like not saying it.
Yeah, he's really great.
So I'm watching it on Thursday. So if the podcast
next week,
if the podcast is late on Friday, you know why.
Yeah, that's why.
So this is why you're like,
format?
why did I only got this at 3 in the afternoon? 70 millimeter.
Okay, you're a good true American.
Yeah, seen it at the Alex in Glendale.
Oh,
Alex.
love it.
Yeah, which actually brought back a projector
Oh yeah, that just
specifically
reopened.
to show.
That's great.
Mark Ronco was
Yeah, because they've just been a venue, like an events venue, for the
Nice.
past 30 years, and now they're bringing back movies because movies are back.
Movies are
apparently.
back.
Cinerama Dome is opening 2028.
Movies are back. It's
So
good.
thrilled.
So,
With that and TV too. Go.
okay,
Should you
give
give
us.
us
Oh
the
yeah, the
answer?
answer. The answer to the question.
Wait, we have to give our predictions, right? Because we gave 2,
You
but
guys
then
gave yours.
what
I
was
didn't
yours?
know. A comedy showrunner? You think I would know
A
this?
comedy writer,
Comedy-
but as if you don't know the writer, give me
solo?
if you don't know the writer, you can give me the show that you think it's from.
I mean, could it have been like David Crane or Marta Kaufman for Friends?
the solo, right? So there's only one writer.
Well,
that won.
right, but
Yeah.
I mean, one of them.
Oh yeah,
One of them,
Friends,
yeah.
An episode. They
Friends actually famously never won writing, and the year it won comedy series wasn't even nominated for writing.
disgusting.
Jazz, do you have a guess of a show?
I said Jerry Seinfeld.
And you said
Then
Larry
I went
David.
Larry David. We stuck with.
it's earlier than all
so
of
it is.
those.
So you should. Okay,
Is
hold
it-
on, hold on.
Is it Cheers?
Give us a decade.
MASH.
60s.
Oh, 60s.
And it's a classic. I actually thought you might know it, Emily. I thought there was a shot that maybe it was one of your like.
Is it like
classics to you.
Mary Tyler Moore?
No, close, very close.
I love Luke.
Oh, would it be
Bob Newhart?
Carl Reiner?
Carl Reiner, Dick Van Dyke.
Was
Amazing.
it?
Carl
we
Reiner,
got
Dick Van
there.
Dyke. Very
Good work.
good, Mike. I didn't think you were named the writer, so that's very good. It was Dick Van Dyke.
Wow,
2
I'm
years in a
so
row.
impressed.
Only solo comedy.
Naturally,
winner.
I went Mary Tyler Moore before
I know.
Dick Van Dyke.
There was a
You were like,
hierarchy
you're so
there.
close.
Yeah.
Very
it was right
close.
there. Actually, for some reason,
She was
I was like,
she was performing his words.
Are you a Dick
so-
Van Dyke girl?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, okay.
Of course.
By the way, I've just been rewatching Golden Girls, by the way.
Oh my God, me too.
Like I just started like watching it from the beginning. I also started watching I Love New York again, just to take that in. Get Sydney Pollard as Precious Cargo.
Weird.
It's not weird. It's great TV. But Golden Girls, man, it got me watching their Emmy runs because they all won lead, one after another. It's like one of the last times that people at the Emmys, the voters were like, "I'm gonna give it your turn, your turn,
exactly.
your turn." It was
I
good.
love the Golden Girls so much.
Such a good show.
Fun fact: when I first saw Wicked on Broadway, Rue McClanahan was Madame Morrible.
Oh my gosh, a dream.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I mean, it's still such a well-crafted. I mean, when you watch it,
It's
it's
still-
like
it still
these are
hits.
plays.
It's
Yeah.
literally like what
Yes.
you should structure a sitcom after.
Yeah.
Which is why I liked
Mid-Century Modern.
Mid-Century
Yeah.
Modern. I thought it actually
That was a
I
really-
thought it was a really good show.
Really well done.
I'm so sad
I
it's
still
not
don't get why they didn't give that a second season.
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
did not.
I was not.
Oh, you were not.
It was
you
not
were
my jam.
Yeah.
It felt too silly for me. It felt too like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was a little too much comedy where Golden Girls was funny,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
not. I think almost like not
Like a
intentional.
quieter comedy.
Because it was obviously from the Will and Grace guys,
Yes,
so
of
it had a
course.
lot
They're a
more of
bit
that
louder.
over the
Subtle.
top Will and Grace, less subtle.
And Betty
yeah.
White. Yeah, everyone. Yeah.
Betty
All right. Any guests this
On
week?
that note, we got Noah Wyle. Speaking of Noah Wyle,
Oh,
Fun.
Yeah.
director contender and actor contender,
Yeah.
an EP.
so and he's saving Hollywood.
That's right.
Good man.
So good man. All right, well, we will see y'all next week.
Bye.
See ya.
After the break, Emmy-nominated The Pitt star, executive producer, and director Noah Wyle. From Los Angeles, this is the Variety Award Circuit Podcast. And we're back. It's the Variety Award Circuit Podcast. I'm Michael Schneider, and here I am, LA hero, Noah Wyle.
That's quite an introduction. Okay.
Right?
Take it.
That's the first time, but
Local boy made good. How about you?
Well, I've been so impressed with how much you've been sort of, really championing this idea of shooting in LA, and it's become a part of you to some degree to make this an important. I mean, it's an important issue. It's something we're all talking about, and this has sort of become a real cause celebre, if you will, for Mr. Noah Wyle.
Yeah, I'm a nativist, I guess, and I'm looking at it from the standpoint of somebody who has grown up in and around this industry and befriended people who are generations deep in this industry who've watched it really crater over the last couple of years. There is still an abundance of talent here, and the Pit is proof of what you can do with that talent when you apply it. That I feel is being grossly overlooked in the pursuit of tax credits or to circumvent, union protections.
Yeah.
As work not only leaves the state but leaves the country.
Yeah, I mean it's complicated, and it's never as simple as, well, why isn't there just more money? It's as you've kind of been talking to folks and getting to know the issue, does it boggle your mind? Do you think is there an easy answer, or what's it going to take?
Well, I think there's a couple of proposals. I have spoken with Senator Schiff about his proposal for a federal tax incentive to sort of augment what the states offer, which would make it a little bit more attractive to bring work back if I don't know what California's offering now, is it 27%, was augmented by an additional 10% or 20% from the federal government. I think more realistically, it would take a commitment on the part of studios to allocate a percentage of their production slate to domestic production and to Los Angeles-based production. I think if you mandate it initially, then it gets normalized and becomes self-sustainable. I think the Pit economically has proven that it's still cost-effective to shoot in Los Angeles if you keep your footprint small and you make certain considerations at the outset that, in the event of a success, a rising tide lifts all boats, and you move on and you bring people back up to their rates if necessary.
Yeah.
Or profit participation if possible.
But it does feel like at least we're talking about it, that it's a conversation that everyone's having, and people, smart people in dark rooms somewhere are hopefully figuring things out a little bit. And at least there's reason to be optimistic, I would think. And
everybody's looking at me like I'm one of those smart people. And I'm like, hey, man. I hope those smart people are out there too.
I know. Do you enjoy being like, okay, now whenever there's a story about LA production or they need to, cut some ribbons or something, call Noah Wyle. He knows what's going on.
It's an interesting thing to find myself a masthead for, and yet, I don't duck it because I am an Angelino, and I do believe that there should be more work here, given the talent pool that is here and given the possibilities that the city has to offer.
Yeah. Well, and the success of the Pitt, like you mentioned, really is the perfect sort of example of what happens when you do it right, and it's just such a feel-good story.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, who wants this? There's a couple other shows that have been shooting here with great success that are going into subsequent seasons. Heart LA. I love LA. I haven't watched it yet, but that's another one.
Yeah, and they're shooting Baywatch out here. I mean, that's an example of tax credits that are working.
When we started shooting the Pitt on the Warner Brothers lot, it was a bit of a ghost town. The only thing that was happening there were the tours going through empty sound stages talking about the work that used to be done there. And now it's a fairly buzzy place. So I'm hoping that there's a trend. Yeah. And eventually more Pitt spinoffs, right? I mean, come on, we've been waiting for...
Is that what we have to do? Become Dick Wolf ourselves across the board to bring more work?
Make a couple more $1 million and have a couple more hit TV shows on the air. I'd say that's a pretty good exchange.
I'm of the notion that you dilute when you expand. And if you're going for longevity, you have to go for depth over breadth.
Yeah, well, you do 15 hours now. You do 15 episodes. If you did another, just make it a full 24 hours and do Night Pit, I could see like a spin-off show, just a quick 8 episodes a season.
Are we looking for the show's sustainability or my sustainability?
Well, at some point, Dr. Robby's got to go home, so you can rely on some of the other folks that are sticking around.
All right. All right.
How is Dr. Robby doing on his time off, by the way? Do we know? Have we heard from him? Is he on the motorcycle?
I talked to him the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's doing well. He's ready to get back to work.
Is he on the motorcycle or is he at home with the baby that he adopted?
He is neither at the moment. He's doing something very interesting in his own mental health journey that I think he's going to start seeing positive results from.
That's good. I mean, that was, obviously, I think everyone started the season expecting for another big shooting, another big sort of event. And of course, July 4th, everyone's just assuming, there's going to be a fireworks explosion or something terrible is going to happen. And by episode 13, shit's going down. You guys went different. You went with something that was more personal and something a lot deeper and something that you really wanted to say something about in talking about mental health and where things are with Dr. Robby.
Well, the show was, it touched on gun violence significantly in the first season, but it was not a show about gun violence. It was a show about frontline workers who have been in those jobs now for 6 years on the other side of COVID, and the toll that it has taken on them personally, emotionally, psychologically, financially. That thesis, is what we really wanted to explore, and we hoped that once you got past the architecture of the protagonist having a nervous breakdown and a mass casualty event, the aggregate toll of an average shift in the average life of an average career would be compelling enough television. And season 2 was a bit more speculative than 1 because of that, and more gratifying to see the response because it reaffirms that there's a narrative here that doesn't necessarily need to revolve around a stunt. An air show disaster or something massive to really keep viewers' attention, that there's connected to the details, the relationships, and the character arcs as much as they are the medicine.
Yeah, and it's not easy for a show that is in real time to sort of show that kind of character growth and evolution because you are sort of pretty much in one day. But we clearly saw in season 1 Dr. Robby's struggles and sort of his PTSD, which clearly had turned into what we saw in season 2. So you still feel like you've really gotten to know these characters, even though we've only spent 2 days with them. How do you thread that needle?
It's a blessing and a curse narratively, because on one hand, you don't have the time to develop a courtship, a love story. You don't have time to really have somebody make a major life change. But 15 hours is enough time for something significant to happen and for you to have to deal with it. You could lose your faith in 15 hours. You might find your faith in 15 hours. You might build an attraction or build a revulsion towards somebody. So we paint with really small brushes, and we tend to go for we're dropping you not at the beginning of this story, but close to the middle, close to the sort of end, so you're catching the juicy bits.
Yeah, and sort of rely on the intelligence of the viewer to sort of put the pieces together and figure out, okay, something happened between these characters. There's history here. So
if the Pit has proven one thing, it's that audiences are incredibly sophisticated in their viewing habits, and they know content, and they are invested even in the most minute detail.
They are passionate. So let's talk about the passion, because it's gotten intense this season. What has your reaction been to some of this? And yeah, some of the fan reaction, I mean, it borders on, how would we describe it, as maybe a little bit toxic? And what are your reactions to that?
I think, well, let me start by saying it's incredibly gratifying to be on a show that has resonance and is being spoken about at all. Yeah. It's also really gratifying to be involved in a show that's saying something that sparks conversation and of an intimate nature. You want a water cooler show. You want things that people have differing opinions on, so that those ideas and debates can happen in the marketplace and people can arrive at consensus and hopefully find commonality in that process. So let's begin there. That I think a lot more bridges have been built through this show than have been burned.
Absolutely.
I think post-COVID, viewing habits have changed and people have become creators themselves, and storytellers themselves, and they're able to take characters and sequences and build off of them and create sub-worlds and sub-narratives that they can engage with other groups and populations and have commonality around, and I think that's all net positive too. I see absolutely nothing wrong with fan fiction and an imaginative narrative building off of source material.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything toxic about any of that. The blending of the line between actor and part that I sometimes see, where an actor is blamed for the behavior of a character, or where a character's dialogue stops being representative of the character and starts being representative of the creative team, as if they're saying something that they believe through this particular vehicle, and not just as a point of view, but as their point of view. That is I think, gotten a little blurry as viewers have sort of conflated character, message, and character.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have an encoded message because somebody's saying it, other than the dramatic tension within that one scene. It's not necessarily trying to be representative of anything larger. So, but, I don't know that there's a prescription for that. I just think it's a small population that, to be honest, I'm not that engaged with it. My skin is too thin to really engage in anything that might be coming at me. So I tend to want to say live and let live, and I'll go do my job, and you can take what you want from it.
Yeah, and as we all know, social media has just amplified small batches of negativity out there in the world that sort of seems much bigger than it actually is.
John Wells was really clear about that, because we as writers are all extremely vulnerable to criticism and to praise. So we're all online and looking. And he basically came in and said, we're not writing to this male. We're not even really listening to this male, because as vocal and as loud as these voices may be, they are still not a random sampling of our viewing population, which is so much more vast than the people who are weighing in this arena. So let's keep an eye on the big picture, which was really helpful.
Did you have any fun grocery store encounters this season, with especially when people were starting to get a little down on Dr. Robby?
There was, my son is the one who calls me and goes, "Dad, they're really mad at you."
He's doing the monitoring for you.
He's my firewall, Dad. You might not want to go to the market today unless you start treating Dr. Mohan better.
That is very funny. But again, it's good that people are passionate. People are watching.
It's interesting. I was talking earlier, and I was saying how, we are so much less forgiving of a good man having a bad day than we are of a bad man having a good day.
Mm-hmm.
We tend to forgive a bad man's faults if he has a moment of redemption, but we tend to really condemn good men for acting beneath their grace. And a lot of the volatility and the vitriol that came at Robby this year was disappointment that he was acting less heroic than he presented himself last year. But, when we're at our most desperate, and we're not always our most graceful, and we were trying to show somebody who was going through a mental health crisis and was behaving irresponsibly, unprofessionally, and out of character for himself as he was asking people to see him in his moment of plight and potentially stop him from doing himself harm. That did get misinterpreted by some people as him just being misogynistic or cruel. And, I think there was a much bigger picture at play.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, but you're absolutely right, too. I don't think Bryan Cranston ever got people saying, Walter White's kind of being a dick.
We pull for Tony Soprano because he's done a couple of kind things, but these are horrible individuals that we give huge passes to. It's a very interesting purity test we put our heroes to, and a bit of an American hypocrisy in enjoying them falling from their pedestal.
Yeah. But again, on such the positive impact that the Pitt has already had on our frontline healthcare workers and the folks that are out there who really feel seen. And I know in season 1, when you were sort of making before the show launched, you were going to some hospitals, meeting with some folks, and you heard from a lot of physicians who said ER inspired me to go into this line of work. And, that's gratifying. And I'm sure now you're hearing a lot from folks who just feel seen, that feel like, okay.
I got one the other day. My wife came home and said that there was a mother at our school who wanted to relay a message from someone that she knew. And he described himself as Dr. Robby. He's an attending physician in an emergency room here in Los Angeles. And he wanted me to know that people are being nicer. And they're treating their nurses and doctors with more kindness and more empathy. And he thinks that's a direct result of the show. And he just wanted to thank me. And I thought to myself, if that is the only needle moved because we did this show, that is enough.
Yeah.
We've given context and for not only what people do for a living, but for how you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. That there's a lot going on that you're not seeing.
And after what they've gone through, and I think just the coarseness of how society has gotten over the past couple of years, that is a godsend. That cannot be underestimated, how important that is.
I've said it before, these people are attending the worst day of your life 4 times an hour, 12 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's a lot. And they sometimes have to go from taking someone at the end of their life and breaking the most unfortunate news, and then having to pivot and go right into a room where somebody is being very short-tempered because they've had to wait for 5 hours. And that's a lot to take.
Yeah. Well, what's been also great about the Pitt is that, you have a rhythm. Like the show is actually coming back at the same time every year. There's 15 episodes. It's sort of nice to be back at, appointment TV and all the things that really worked back in the day, back in the must-see TV days of yore. It's kind of cool. I'm sure you're hearing a lot of that too.
Everything old is new again. We've reinvented an old model.
Yeah.
But we've done, without standards and practices, being a factor, we're able to push the envelope a little bit farther than we were able to before. We're able to, employ more colors in our palette. It's extremely gratifying.
Yeah, there's a lot more representation on screen too, which I think is really appreciated, especially in those emergency rooms. But in terms of the rhythm, when do you get back to work and what's...
I'm playing hooky right now. I'm supposed to be in the writing room breaking episode 3, which I'm on the hook for. But we are actively writing season 3. We start shooting season 3 in June. So that is a tight schedule in order to give that delivery in January.
Yeah.
But, I also noticed during COVID that the shows that people watched for comfort food were the shows that had the largest libraries that you could build a long-term relationship with. So The Office and Friends and, Family Guy and all those shows became comforting because you could put them on and you could watch as many episodes of The Simpsons as you possibly wanted to. Shows like Fleabag, which are incredible but only have 8 episodes or 6 episodes behind them, aren't ones you're going to go to in perpetuity because there just isn't the time to build the relationship, with the character. So I think part of bringing the show back on the regular is to tap into that, familiarity and comfort of tuning in to see people whose lives you're invested in and not having to wait 2 and 3 years to pick up the thread of that narrative as we've all moved on from our lives, but to have it still feel somewhat relative.
I think Scott Gemmell has mentioned the time frame of season 3. Has he said it's in the winter? Is that
he won't give up any secrets unless you ask him.
That's what we love about him, right? That's
what you love about him. Yes, we are. Well, we wanted to play with a different season. We just came off of Hot July 4th, so it seemed appropriate to plot it a little into a different season. We wanted Robby to have been away from the hospital for a little while, and so both of those things felt like fall would be appropriate. Change of weather, everybody's turning on their heaters again. The first rains caused the slick roadways, different kind of cases, different aesthetic.
Yeah. Has Robby given baby Jane Doe a name?
It's amazing to me how many people think you should throw a drowning man a baby as opposed to a life preserver.
Well, that is kind of a good life preserver. I mean, it is like a deep end. That is jumping in the deep end. But
my sister, when she had her 4th kid, I said, "What's that like?" She goes, "Imagine you're drowning and someone throws you a baby."
I mean, this is television, right? It is drama. So, Noah, a fun thing that we've been doing with our guests this season is looking back at the very first time they were in Variety. So I have here your very first appearance in Variety.
I'm super curious about this.
You want to take a guess? What project landed you first time in Variety?
Could it have been Crooked Hearts?
No.
But because then I'm going to call out your rival publication because the first time my name appeared in that publication, they spelled it Nosh. So for years, my nickname with my friends has been Nosh because they spelled my name wrong the first time it was in print. So that wasn't you, and that was what was memorable. So tell me.
Okay, well, we spelled your name right, but it was part of the cast of Blind Faith parts 1 and 2.
Stop it! That comes even earlier.
Oh, so we were first then.
You were first.
This is Friday, February 9, 1990. It's a TV review for the NBC Sunday and Tuesday Night at the Movies. 2 parts, Blind Faith. Noah Wyle, you're listed, I mean, maybe it's alphabetical.
That is so generous given my level of participation in that 2-hour event.
Yeah.
My grandfather watched both segments and said, quote, "Had to watch an awful lot of Blind Faith for a little bit of Noah." And the real story is that somebody had told me that you had to say 7 words to get a SAG card, and my line was 5 words long. It was, "What's going on down there?" And I said this at the SAG Awards. I spent all morning trying to figure out how to stretch it to 7. And when the director said action, I said, "Excuse me, what's going on down there?" and then I found out it didn't matter. You didn't have to say 7 words.
You still got the card.
Still got the card.
So this was actually the project that got you the card.
That was my SAG card job, yeah.
That's very cool.
I had auditioned for both the leads, Patrick Kelly, I forget the actor, Jay Underwood.
Yeah, Jay Underwood.
And it was Joanna Kearns and
Johnny Galecki was in this.
Johnny Galecki, that was his first job.
Yeah, Doris Roberts. That's quite a cast.
David Barry Gray was the character I was looking for. And, of course, Robert Urich in the lead.
William Forsythe was in it.
Joe Spano, I believe, was also in it from Hill Street Blues.
This was like the pinnacle.
Doris Roberts.
Yeah, Doris Roberts.
Doris and I sat lunch together on my one day at set, and she told me, save your money. Save your money. Don't blow your paycheck. You're going to need it.
Spoken like someone who probably had some stories.
A veteran. Just
Yes.
veteran advice, Take some craft service home with you, too.
So after that, it was just like off to the races for Noah Wyle
Yeah,
after
right.
Blind Faith? Or
Sure.
what do you remember after getting that card and being on TV, maybe for a split second on NBC's Night
I
at the
started
Movies?
working at the Bellage Hotel for a man named Dmitry Dimitrov, who's still a maitre d' here in town. He runs the Sunset Tower now. And I was 18 or 19, and I worked for him for a couple of years. And then I got my first movie, which was this movie called Crooked Hearts. And I did a couple movies. I did one called There Goes My Baby after that. And then I didn't work for another couple of years, and things got lean. And then I booked A Few Good Men and Swing Kids. And then I didn't work for a couple of years, and then I got ER, which it was a start and stop kind of a beginning, and then ER changed everything.
And no one's calling you Nosh Wiley anymore.
I haven't been called Nosh, well, in a couple of days anyway, because I still know people who call me Nosh.
Well, that leads us actually to our final moment, the 10 questions with Noah Wyle.
Ooh,
So
okay.
you ready?
Yep.
All right, here we go. And actually the first one, it's not your childhood nickname, but nonetheless, what is your childhood nickname?
Well, Wile E. Coyote. So from Roadrunner, I got called Wile E. Coyote a lot growing up, or Noah's Ark, obviously.
Yeah.
But mostly Wile E. Coyote.
All right. Something you loved as a kid but can't believe you're into now in hindsight.
Something that I was into as a kid, and now I can't believe that I'm into in hindsight. Oh my goodness. I'm still into everything I was into as a kid.
So nothing that sort of comes to mind that was like, I can't believe I was into Garfield or something like that.
I had an unnatural obsession with Grease 2. I know every word to Grease 2, and sometimes alone in my car we'll do renditions of,
Cool Rider.
Yeah, Cool
or
Rider.
Reproduction.
I know Cool Rider. You know them all too. So.
So I had Michelle Pfeiffer on the podcast on Friday.
Stop it.
And I sang her. I think it was embarrassing to me mostly, but I sang her Cool Rider. Also, got to get back.
If you really want to know what I want in a guy. Yeah, I know it too.
Let's bowl, let's rock and roll. I mean, why do we still know all the words to all those songs?
I don't know. I've befriended Chris McDonald, who played Goose. He was the tall T-Bird, and I'm sure he's so annoyed with how many times I bring that movie up.
It's a classic. Well, here we go. What is your go-to karaoke or sing in the shower song?
Oh, well, I can't believe I just sang for you, because that is breaking through a massive phobia that I've been grappling with for most of my life. I got shamed young and scared to sing publicly, so it's been one of my great desires to be able to have confidence. So even the mention of the word karaoke makes me break out in sweat.
Yeah.
Because it usually means I'm being forced to do something I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah.
But I'm working on it. I usually warm up slow with something that, Rex Harrison could handle.
What about Alone in the Shower? Are you a little more free with your
Yeah,
song?
that's when I go full Dreamgirls cast album.
Perfect. Yep. What is your secret talent?
Acting. Don't tell anybody. It's my only talent.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh, that's a great one. I like McConnell's mint chip ice cream a lot, but I also like peanut butter and chocolate ice cream from Haagen-Dazs. That was one I got in my youth a lot.
Yeah.
And I was part of the 70s sherbet craze.
Right. Do you say sherbet or sherbet?
I say sherbet.
I say sherbet too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though there isn't an R there. I don't know why we say that, sherbet.
Because rainbow sherbet at Baskin-Robbins when I was a kid was the perfect after-dinner digestive.
What's the one item now you couldn't live without?
My wife. I'm not calling my wife an item. I'm just saying that I really, really depend heavily upon her.
Good answer. Very good answer. TV show in all of history that you wished you were a cast member
Deadwood.
of?
Without hesitation, he says Deadwood. I've always wanted to do a Western, and I loved that show. David Milch's writing was, poetry punctuated with profanity, and I would have given anything to have been in the room with Ian McShane and Tim Oliphant and Keith Carradine and some of the actors on that show. I just loved it.
So I'm hearing Old Pitt maybe maybe as a future spin-off.
Yeah, we're going to go back. 1880s Pitt.
1880s Pitt. Oh, I would watch the hell out of that. I mean, Noah.
Well, we had Brad Dourif, who played the doctor on Deadwood. He's the father of Fiona Dourif, who plays Dr. McKay. So we had Brad on the show, and I got to tell him how much I enjoyed his performance, which I thought was so flawless. That man could put more intention into a syllable than anybody I know.
Yeah, good answer. Let's see. Next up, the fictional character in either literature or TV or film that you most admire.
Oh, most admire. Atticus Finch, probably. I think that was, and it's infused with Gregory Peck's performance, but I saw it at a formative age and had this, there's that moment at the end when up in the balcony, Jem and Scout are told to stand. She says, "Stand up, Jem, your father's passing." And the sort of quiet dignity and heroism of Atticus always, loomed large for me.
Yeah, so To Kill a Mockingbird, one of your favorites growing up, or?
Yeah, it's a great movie. I actually just showed it to my 10-year-old who read the book first, and then I showed her the movie. I didn't remember how much more is in the book than in the movie, but she got to tell me chapter and verse what was missing.
So finally, your favorite personal piece of advice, either that you've given or that you have been given.
First one that comes to mind is George Clooney early on saying, "Take your work seriously, don't take yourself seriously." That was a big one. I remember I saw an interview once with former Boston Celtic great, and I don't like giving any credit to anything Boston Celtic, but Bill Russell is not your average Boston Celtic. And he said that he learned later in life that it was far better to understand than it is to be understood, and that we spend so much time trying to get our own personal points of view across and so little time trying to listen to everybody else's that we sometimes do ourselves a disservice. So I latched onto that one too. And
a piece of advice needed more than ever. So, well, Noah Wyle, again, thank you for saving production in Los Angeles. We're going to put it all on you.
I don't want the blame. I don't want the credit.
Man, I know we're a couple months away, but very excited for season 3. So
thank you. I think we're going to give you another good one. I'm confident. Well, the people that I work with are brilliant. So
all right, get back to work.
We'll do.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
That's the Pitt star, executive producer, and director Noah Wyle, who won the Emmy last year for Outstanding Drama Actor, as well as being part of the show's Best Drama win in 2025. This year, he's back for more as a nominee in Lead Drama Actor, Drama Directing, and Drama Series. And that's it for this edition of Variety's Award Circuit Podcast. If you've got questions for the Award Circuit Roundtable, drop us a line at the Emmy Emergency Hotline, 323-617-9110, and you may appear on a future episode. Be sure to subscribe to the Award Circuit Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you download podcasts. Also, head on over to Variety.com and click on the Award Circuit tab to find the latest awards predictions and key races, as well as your daily fix of news, analysis, and reviews. For Jazz Tanke, Emily Longaretta, and Clayton Davis, I'm Michael Schneider, and we'll see you on the circuit.